So no matter what the apartment is, what I'm really looking for is I'm looking to make sure that we don't undervalue the renovation. How much money realistically can be put into this apartment before the value of the apartment gets obliterated? And in an apartment like this, especially because this one in particular is a condo, that's what really makes a big, big difference. That you can spend a reasonable amount of money here really updating this place and turning it into a jewel box without having to go into the stratosphere of budgets. There's two things I want to know in any property before I even get started, and that is who's the managing agent and who reviews plans for the building, because that helps me handicap how long the process that I don't have control over is going to take. There are building managers in this city who are phenomenal, and there are building managers who can't tie their shoes. Well, depending on who those people are, that's going to tell me whether the review process is going to take X amount of weeks, X amount of months. It hasn't taken years, but it can be an arduous process. The second part is who's reviewing plans for the building, because if the people reviewing the renovation plans for the building are pragmatic and want to assist renovations, that's going to short circuit the amount of time that's needed. If they're looking to generate fees, that's going to elongate the process. If we're talking about townhouses, air rights, landmarks, neighbors, you name it. There's a whole plethora of things that can make a project go easier or more difficult. When you're talking about apartments, especially pre-wars in the city, you're talking about building managers, but you're also talking about concepts like wet over dry, where I can expand the footprint of design and where I can't. Powder rooms. There's a ton of people who are buying apartments and they hope that the people who put a powder room in downstairs, that means they can put a powder room in. That doesn't necessarily mean the case. So this whole footprint you approach as designing it, rather than just saying the kitchen is here, this whole thing can be blown out and you get a modern layout rather than little pieces of rooms. But because you have all the wet, 99 times out of 100, the building's going to allow you to use this whole footprint for the kitchen. And you know, it's something fantastic. The better buildings are requiring a $5 million insurance policy down to the painter. So you can have this phenomenal painter who came over from Italy, he's amazing, but if he doesn't have $5 million, they're not letting him in the building. It applies to virtually everybody down the wallpaper hanger. So what's happening on these projects are that the price of the job is going up because of regulations like insurance requirements, building requirements, things like that. If somebody comes along and says it's going to take them 6 months, they have no idea what they're talking about. A 12 to 15 month timeline from the day you start designing to the day you sleep in the apartment makes the process efficient, and reality drives your car. That's it. From a buyer's standpoint, I think buyers just want a straight out honest answer before they move forward. How much, how long, that's it. So the connection with real estate brokers and why some of the best brokers in the city we work with collaboratively is they're trying to debunk a myth. Renovations are hard. They are work, but they're not harder than anything else if they're done right. And that really, I think, sets it apart. But right out of the box, I have no problem saying to somebody, this is going to take forever. Here's why. Here's what it's going to cost. Don't hire me. I also have no problem saying, this is the information I'm giving you. Forget I exist. It's honest. I want to deliver it to you. You do with it the information, what you want. And then there are those people who say, we want you. And then we get lucky.